Hey guys, and we are live and doing our first siege of a control point here for the Rogues group in Arcos server 1. We're just about to hit Cryonic Station, and for those who have never done one of these before, basically what we're doing is we are sending an assault army, one in this case, but sometimes you'll need more, to clear out the defenders in this station. Once those defenders reach down to the number of armies 0, we will then send in everybody else, who will send essentially armies that are kitted out for siege damage to reduce this durability bar up here, hopefully down to around 0. So I guess wish us luck, and in we go. And I'm just taking the first hit myself here. I've offered to do that for the team. Hopefully we're not going to completely wipe out, otherwise we're done before we started. Now, in a little bit, once I've done this and given a quick instruction to the rest of the guild, I'll talk a little bit about how we managed to get here as a group, and ideally what you need to do something like this, or to make this undertaking. We've just hit that control point now. I'm just waiting for my inbox to hopefully fill up with something like 12 sets of mail that says we've cleared the defenders. We'll just have to wait and see. We might have hit one that's a little bit tricky. There we go, and we've got our 12 there. So now we'll just check in there. We've got 0 of 12 left. I'm just going to hop in here and write send siege, excuse the noise of the typing in the background, and away we go. And now hopefully everyone else is going to pile in with all their ships that are set up for siege. Dread here is a particularly good one. We'll send that one in. And we've got a couple of other little ones that we're just going to send in just to make sure, and away we go. And that's pretty much it. That nails how to undertake a siege. I'm just going to leave that running in the background. I will hop back to this to resend armies now and again, and we'll see where we get to. Basically how we got here was our guild took an either 200, 230 or 260 tile near here, sorry, or 300, and we built a guild bastion. In the beginning of the game, your guild can have 2 of these. You will get more as the guild itself levels up, I suspect. And so we built a bastion here, and that means anyone from our guild can now send one army to this station, and then they can send that army out to build an outpost here. That very much, if I just zoom out here, very much that bastion operates with this blue radius here. So you can use it like everyone in the guild can use it as if it were an outpost, but you're limited to just the one army in there. So let's just hop back there, see where we're at. 2 more of my armies have hit. We're up to 15 there, and so quite a few of us have put a hit in here, and I guess we'll see where we're up to in terms of our durability. Now if I just click on that, so far we've knocked down what, 12, probably 11% of that, 12%, and I suspect that means we're probably going to take this, just working that out with the number of armies we've got going in there. So we will now just see what else we've got. Everyone's coming home at the moment, so just wait till my ships have landed back here on my station or my outpost, and then we will send those in again. That's pretty much all there is to it in terms of taking down a control point. So from me, thank you very much. Thanks to all the guys from Rogues. I'm not sure who we've got in here at the moment. We've got Malarkey, we've got Hades Burn. Who else have we got down here? Zenitsu. Just see who we can give a big thank you to. Commander Candy, of course. Joe Candy, thank you very much, sir. I suspect that Candy's going to be wrecking this thing with his siege. We'll have a look at the end and see how much he's done, but for now I'm just going to pause that until we get somewhere near the end. So I'm just going to unpause this a little bit halfway through to highlight an issue I seem to have come across, whereby one of my ships, the Corruptor, is already at the tile, stuck in the middle there. It's actually not, because when I click on the ship here, he's stuck here. I've got no idea why he's stuck there. I'm just going to have to recall it like this. For some reason that Corruptor was actually just stuck in the middle there, and I've got absolutely no idea why that might have happened. And so I'm just going to carry on, and I've recorded this for the purposes of bringing out this this little insert, if you like, as a as a bug suggestion a bit later on. So we'll just carry on again, and once this gets a bit closer to 0, and once my screen stops bugging out from lag, then we'll pull it up again, and you can see what happens when it hits 0. So we're now back here, and we're at a point where we are down to 15.6% of the durability. We've still got 43 minutes left to take this station down, but this is the stage where a lot of players will now start running out of fuel for their ships, apart from those who are stationed quite some way away. A useful piece of advice when taking down a station like this is to deploy your units right up to the front of the if you like, the inner circle around the station. And for instance, I could deploy one of my ships to here. That's perfectly fine. You can deploy your ship to one of your guildmates' tiles, and in fact that will come in handy later on in PvP for guarding. You can actually set a ship to guard a position and the other tiles around it. So useful to know for you. You can deploy to somebody else's tile if they're in your guild. The reason you would want to do that with one of these stations is that you get in your hits a lot quicker, so at the end of the day there may be a reward for the highest amount of siege damage done to a station, and you'll be in with a chance of earning some extra bonuses out of that. We'll find out if that's still the case once we've taken this down. As you can see here, if I move in here, I don't really want to use my Sunder. I'm keeping that as a last resort because that is my main ship for taking tiles with. But my Corruptor's got a little bit of fuel left. We're going to send another one in here. What are we up to now? 8%, so we are almost there. Now we'll send that one in. My Dread is completely out. What you'll notice also from this sidebar down here on the left is that we can see which of our ships are actually advancing in, and then we'll see them turn around and come back again, and this little icon down here should hopefully change when that happens. I've also got my Dark Fang here just coming in as a backup in case we can't quite make the last few percentage points. I think we're going to do it. We're on 8.1%, but we're going an awful lot slower now. A lot will really depend on how much these guys have got in terms of fuel left. What I might just do is, I think in my inventory perhaps I have a fuel canister. I do, so I might just pop that on my Dread for now and get a few more hits out of that. That's my biggest hitter in terms of siege, so let's just pop that on there. And he has a siege of about, I think it's about 2,800, maybe 3,000, so he'll be able to do a bit of damage. We'll just pop him in because it looks like we're starting to run out of fuel, and so I'm just going to pop that on there. That's a precious resource, but times must, and this is now the right time to do it. You can see here we've got other members of the faction coming in as well. Looks like somebody's trying to pinch the last hit, which is a little bit cheeky, but never mind. When you take this station, that counts for the whole faction rather than just an individual guild. So I assume that's how most of these games work. We'll find out in a bit. It would be a bit soul destroying if one of our own faction members took that before us. That would be what's called a snipe. Now those snipes can come in handy much later in the game when you're up against an enemy who's trying to take a point, and you zip in at the last minute and take control of it. It's cheeky, but it's something you can do if you can get your timings right on that. Talking of timings, one other thing to do when you're on a much larger station, and if you like, rewards are at stake for who gets the highest attack damage or siege damage, certainly the attack, is you need to learn to time your attacks on these places. And so let's have a look through. If I wanted to march in there with, say, my Corruptor, tells me here 53 seconds to march time. So if we were due to hit at 2 o'clock, I'd start that running so that it hits bang on the dot. Anyway, we have now taken this station. The end result of doing that is that this region should now have turned our faction colour, which, if I just pull out a bit further, is pink. Yes, we got this lovely pink, or is it lavender? I don't know. All seems very pretty, doesn't it? Let's just see, we've got that. And in terms of rewards, do we get anything for this? I don't think we do. I think we're just on combat reports there. No, nothing special for that. So let's just come down while we're here and have a quick look at the power of the Sunder. Look at that. All 12 defenders taken out in one hit with absolutely no losses. So we'll have another little bit about the Sunder and probably the Dark Fang at some point in time. They really are rocking it against these defenders that don't have any capital ship skills at the moment. But hey, thanks for watching. Thanks to all the Rogs guys for coming in. Thanks to, who else have we got? Thanks to 77 from, I'm not sure which guild you're from, 77. Who are you with? TMSK coming in and helping out at the last minute. That's great. We've taken it. Thanks for watching.